今、ドイツのですねハンブルグハーフェンシティの大学に来ております。ここで GIJN グローバルインベスティゲイティブジャーナリズムネットワークという組織のですね世界大会が開かれています。ここに早稲田クロニクルから13人のメンバーを連れて一緒にこちらのハンブルグの大会に参加しております。GIJN グローバルインベスティゲイティブジャーナリズムネットワークというのは非営利で独立している、しかもインベスティゲイティブジャーナリズム、これはですね日本語で言うと探査報道と言いますものに特化したジャーナリストたちが集まっている団体です。ですから、汚職であるとか、いろいろな、そういう権力を隠している、そういったことをですねただ単にその記者クラブにいて、右から左に当局の情報を流すのではなく、自分たちの足を使って取材技術を使ってそして暴いていく、スクープする、そういうジャーナリストたちが集まっている団体です。でここの、GIJ の特徴はですね、先ほど言いましたように非営利、そして独立している、それだけに、みんなで助け合ってですね世界のそういう課題を解決していこう、ジャーナリズムで解決していこうという、そういう団体です。で早稲田クロニクルは、まさに、非営利独立、そしてインベスティゲイティブリポート、探査報道に特化した団体です。日本では朝日新聞であるとか NHK であるとか読売新聞であるとか大きなメディア会社、マスコミがですね大変な力を持っている一方で、なかなか手間がかかりリスクがある、そういった権力に対して暴露スクープで迫っていくという独立したジャーナリストたちの集団というのは日本にはありません。これを早稲田クロニクルは目指しております。そういう中であって初めてですね、GIJN に、日本から早稲田クロニクルがニュース組織として加盟しました。つまりオフィシャルメンバーです。今回はですね、5日間にわたって1500人、世界中から集まった1500人が、いろんな普段の取材活動であるとか、どうやって、組織を継続させるために資金を獲得するかとか、そういったもののですね知恵を出し合って、それぞれこんな提供をしようじゃないかというようなことを5日間にわたって、みんなで話し合っていく場です。日本からですね、世界に発信できるような大スクープというものが、早稲田クロニクルから発信できるように我々も大いにここで学んでいきたいと思います。何日かごとにですね成果というのをここで出会った人たちのお話であるとか、こんな技術が世界では今最先端を行ってるんだよというようなことを報告したいと思います。ぜひ楽しみにしていただけたらと思います。よろしくお願いします。
On my side is Dave Kaplan, Managing Director of GIJN. My name is Julia, Chairwoman of Netzwerkrecherche. And would be great if everybody listens now. We just prepared a short film to get started.
We just prepared a short film to get started. You can see we carefully rehearsed this. Wow, 131 countries. Thank you, everybody. This is the largest ever international gathering of investigative journalists.
I think Brent is working with the computer.
Nice here.
Hello, Brent. You'll be shocked to know journalists have large egos, keeping those in line, keeping everyone moving forward. You were fantastic. Thank you, Julia.
Thanks. It's too spontaneous for me. So they wanted to make sure that the media would never again be brought into
Good morning, everyone. My name is Werner Eggert. I represent the third co-host of this conference, the Interlink Academy, that's this one. And I'm very happy to see so many faces.
In our town hall this morning, there is a huge decorative hall that is in the middle of this town hall, and there are all these huge paintings all around. It's an open city and has open arms for journalists all along, all the time. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. We feel very welcomed here, and that's kind of the theme of my very short talk. We're getting our asses kicked everywhere. And I think you all know this. We're under assault in 100 countries. People to represent. Syed Nazakat from India.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's really incredible to be here in Hamburg. And we remember the discussion in Johannesburg.
But I couldn't have done this without Gabriela Manuli, our Deputy Director from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Gabby?
Thank you. So I'm going to be quick. I also want to say a few names.
With that, let's start the first session. When we begin organizing these conferences, my first call is to this young lady trying to get up on stage. What are you doing, Sheila? Her old friend, founder of the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, one of the true pioneers, the woman who figured out how to take this model of nonprofit investigative journalism to a developing country right after the Marcos dictatorship and change forever the politics of the Philippines. You're in good hands. Sheila, I turn this over to you.
Thank you. Can I ask our panel to please come up on stage? Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for doing your work, for shining the torch of watchdog journalism on the world.
This is not just the area of data journalism. And we need to do it because we need to be able to investigate the algorithms that are produced by others, by powerful different institutions, and that are creating new forms of expression, persecution, and discrimination.
We've done stories where we have built data and shared it with our network of reporters. We've done stories where research reporters help us.
And I remember Marty Barron, the executive editor of the Post, said to me, he said, "Why are you writing about this now? Right? Why are you writing about this?"
Some others who go to work for the Japanese mob. It's Yakuza University, the nickname. I won't mention it.
Hello everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here, my first time. I have to say I had a bit of a heart attack when I saw the title of this talk, The Criminal Services Industry, because one of the things that I want to talk about today is the kind of libel, strict libel laws that we operate under in the UK, and one of the facilitator groups that I want to talk today.
To researching the systematic abuse of children and teenagers in the Danish film industry in the 1970s. And it turned out that two of the directors behind some of the most iconic Danish youth movies.
We want to share with the audience, our readers, all the journalists or researchers, all the document or the figures that we managed to fact check, to verify, and to be sure that they are
visualization is becoming an increasingly important part of that process. This is a study. I mean, I can give links.
Say something about something that's geographic and to say that a certain thing and X happens more on posters.
We do so much work in investigative journalism, and then we expect the reader to do the hard work to understand that. What we actually need to do is do an element of that work for them, help them understand the data as much as possible.
Notamment par les journalistes qui appartiennent à l'organisation Cenozo en Afrique de l'Ouest. Il y avait toute une opération qui avait été menée avec ICIJ, les West Africa Leaks.
And I think that you could use to try to understand these groups as a phenomenon and not one by one. And it starts with this picture. Obviously, it's about hockey. And I think one of the reasons why to try to identify the weakest links. This is classic stuff. This is the same thing that the CIA does when they're trying to recruit agents, is to find the weak chains in a
We have a great panel today. We are going to talk about different topics. We have all the journalists here on stage have different backgrounds, but the mission is the same, to hold powerful people to account, as well as criminals or just business corporations who exploit very legal loopholes.
It's called CHRONICLE. And this will highlight the fact that what we do is we follow the money across borders, and we build large teams of investigative reporters to work together, but not just reporters, data people and other scientists, for instance, who can work with such data. And I'm referring to financial data that is really hard to solve sometimes.
This is Troika Dialogue, once Russia's premier investment bank. And this was Troika's president, Ruben Vardanyan, a Russian-Armenian businessman who is known for his friendly relationships with the West. Publicly, Troika was a powerful financial institution led by one of Russia's most progressive
business. The UN was covering the investigation. This was a cooperation between Swedish television, Süddeutsche Zeitung, Radio France, Foreign Policy Magazine, and Le Monde.
Swedish politician Zaida Catalan was 35 years old when she started working for the UN in Congo. On March the 12th, 2017, she and her colleague Michael were led by a group of armed men towards a grove of trees. Zaida and Michael thought they were being taken to meet the group's leader. They didn't realize what the men were actually planning to do.
That his UN job was the safest job he'd had yet. Because nobody harmed actuaries. Nobody.
Secretary General, här han skriver: Dear Mrs. Moresby, please rest assured that the United Nations remain deeply committed to ensuring that those responsible for the deaths of Zaida and Michael are brought to justice. Yours sincerely, Antonio.
Did the Secretary General agree with your conclusions?
Apparently, yes.
Here and now is the relationship between our solution and the analysis of the mental process. All of this is basically a theory of rat trees, the causing of that solution.
You used the 90s in Nintendo game.
Which means the more pressure
better we give on the system, the higher the scalability gets. And that's what we wanted to achieve. How would
You all know this proceeding possible
here, and we saw that these scientists, they are from all over the world, from India, from South Korea, from everywhere. And that was when we started to get the feeling, okay, maybe this is a good idea to start collaborating. And then we started to build a bigger picture. And the first thing we did was to identify different predatory publishers. We took 5, there are hundreds out of there, but we took 5 of the bigger ones. And then we scraped the metadata from the website. We should reach out to all the colleagues in the world that we can investigate this issue, this problem of science
Good afternoon,
together.
everyone. My name is Bo Young Lim. I come from the Korea Center for Investigative Journalism, News Tapa.
You can watch it with the English
what-
subtitles. The opening of our documentary starts with the black comedy style opening. You have to watch it. I'm not going to tell you. But anyway, that was
ridiculous. Would we get it through? So we got a net of mandarins, and we went to the notified bodies, and we said, would you approve this? And they didn't see any problem.
The story is about things that are implanted into people, an area of medicine that is largely under-regulated. Kits that help people to walk better, pressure lenses that allow people to see.
In the first place, to get market experience. And then if the device survives, they take it to America.
And now, instead of the standards... A combination of low requirements in the legislation, lack of transparency, and conflict of interest is really fatal to patient health. We want to know what's happening with certain devices. Patients are entitled to know this.
Because it's basically, it was based on a public records entirely. It was not based on a leak, and it's about medical devices. So the Indian marketing strategist, I reached out to him. He was no longer working with them, and he gave me some documents that was really helpful. And obviously, as usual, you can't just report, from your side. You have to then go to the local.
Research and leaving the country in your case, I know. Could you tell us how that worked out in the deceptive diplomacy story?
So I spent a few days at the Congress, knocked on the door of every evangelical parliamentarian, interviewed pastors, and attended an evangelical service in the House of Representatives.
Unos vecinos vieron cuando estaban unos funcionarios desde las 4 de la mañana con todas las zonas de San Martín, las piedras, de todos los sanatorios, que andaban en los operativos de Policía Nacional y conjunto con colectivos.
Habían sin inicial, sin nada, cuando era sin inicial, no tenían nada más lo blanco, ni carreras blancas, y otros que sí tenían iniciales que decían servir. Ellos decían que eran navegantes, pero había muchas personas vestidas de negro, con soles negros, pasamontañas. Los policías empiezan a
Andamos con su ropa y eso lo van para la sala y su contigo en el corazón.
We're very pleased to have with us this morning, first of all, Martha Mendoza from the Associated Press. She's going to be speaking on the California wildfires. She'll be followed by...
Covering wildfire before, during, and after, what we can do as investigative reporters so that you're not just telling the same story of how many acres just burned last night. For global warming. In northern latitudes, wildfires actually are a symptom of Earth's warming. One biomass burning expert at NASA told me, we already see the initial signs of climate change and fires are... You should get out of your neighborhood, people have a little bit of time, and so they're packing up their cars, and all of a sudden, this was near Reading, the sky turns black. Next thing that happens quite quickly in my area is looting begins. So an area is completely evacuated. Everybody has to be out, except some people who stay behind.
I have to make Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, to understand what I really want, and then I have to look at how LinkedIn works, and how Twitter works, and how Facebook works. So,
unless you're in completely wrong room, or I'm in completely wrong room, I'm Paul Bradshaw. I'm going to talk for the next hour or so, like 50 minutes. I'll try and finish on time.
Grundlage ist ein sogenannter Decision Tree. Damit der Decision Tree zwischen Fake und nicht Fake kann unterscheiden, muss man ihn trainieren. Das heisst, wir zeigen dem Decision Tree 1000 Follower. Von diesen 1000 Follower wissen wir schon, ob sie fake sind oder nicht. Der Decision Tree lernt nachher selber, wie er zwischen Fake und nicht Fake kann unterscheiden. Zum Beispiel.
So, in the old days, you might, a lobbying organisation might give a set text to a number of different people and some other cards. Can it distinguish between different types of intensive farming? Can it identify where illegal mining is taking place? These are some really interesting applications of that. And Google has been using this with sensors in forests, so you can watch this video. I'll share the slides on Twitter in terms of what it does and what it actually says. So it's going to collect this information for these reasons, and it gives you these options.
Because it's early, we take another 2-3 minutes for people to arrive.
Get harassed by patients, by older patients, and sometimes by ill patients as well. And I knew about like 1 or 2 anecdotal stories. So what I did is I went to all of the Facebook groups where nurses. So rape and harassment in agriculture has been something I've been doing for a few years with various freelancers. It is about women who pick fruit and vegetables.
In my case, because of he was a very high-profile journalist and he wrote to biography of Prime Minister Abe, it was difficult. My fight was not against him, against our legal system, which we had 110-year-old rape law, and social systems failure, how little support we have. But because of his background, I get so many attacks from in political.
Shari, editor-in-chief from Reporter, and we're keeping it very open, the whole session very open. Actually, it's all for you. We're not going to do any talking here.
But I request Sherry first. She has been done some amazing work from Taiwan.
3 years ago, I'm the. Is there any newcomer in GIJN? Raise your hand. Oh, still some. We have a few of them. And 3 years ago, I was.
فوصلناش لمرحله التوصيات، لكن ممكن بعض النقاط اللي كانت مهمه اكثر حتى من التمويل الصحفي للعمل الاستقصائي ما يسمى.
Hi everybody, I'm Catherine Eban. Today I'm going to talk about the reporting journey for my book, which came out in May, called Bottle of Lies: The Inside Story of the Generic Drug Boom. The book was based on a decade of reporting on 4 data is accurate and you need to investigate. What he discovered and what was presented to the board of directors is this document. It's about 24.
Hello everyone, I'm Madeline Davis. I'm the Health and Science Editor at the Bureau of Investigative Journalism in London. And our interest in investigating the pharmaceutical industry is because we're interested in antibiotic resistance.
exportiert zu sein und finde es auch cool. Nach etwa 2 Monaten war es ja, nach dem, was man wissen, bewusst.
Secret activities of CIA inside Japan has been reported, was reported in the US publications. NARA, National Archives and Records Administration, and diplomatic. And you can find this search engine.
Whilst keeping the PDF format, which was really helpful. And what I'll say is, if you're going to, as a team, to another country, and you're working all together, it can be very, very intense. So don't get cabin fever. Very, very tempting to be a perfectionist and wait until you have absolutely all the information. Yeah, get it well out as soon as you can.
The heart of Europe on the same roads where we happily drive our cars. Investigate Europe traveled along Europe's highways and interviewed haulage drivers in their trucks, the places where they spend up to 2/3 of their lives. These highway nomads are mostly immigrants and are commonly paid much less than the minimum wages in the countries where they work.
Well, he does that, the same thing several times more, but I just shortened the video. Alright, so he's the CEO of top-ranking repair companies called Redisc and Foundry. That one is top one, and Foundry is second top one. And for those of you who haven't heard the word WebPart, it's basically a video sharing platform.
Spreadsheets, we encoded all the information that we can, and found out that from 2007, we started comparing their data from 2007 because that's the time that his son and the daughter entered the public office. The wealth increase of the president.
Very close to terrorist organizations. And the situation in the very tiny village in the area the girl comes from, or the young lady comes from, she's now 19.
The classification process started. So approximately 30 years have passed. We have
it was an interesting documentary for me because we don't do very many cross-border collaborations in East Africa. This was the first one that spanned 3 countries, in a sense that it involved, or rather there were players who were complicit in 3 countries at least, in impoverishing one of the newest nations.
He's my boss. And Mariko is the editor of WASEDA CHRONICLE, which is an independent, non-profit investigative newsroom in Japan. So thank you for coming here today. So part of our story. On April in this year, Japanese central government legislated compensating to those who had sterilized under the law. It paid 320 million yen per victim, and Prime Minister Shinzo Abe officially apologized for them. And when we started the story, look, we set the phrases as a core of our story. So that is, can you imagine a situation where persons who are very dear to you were sterilized at the time without consent? Or if you were sterilized yourself by the national government. So, let me show you what happened about forced sterilization in Japan. 3 years after the World War II, Japan enacted the 1948 Eugenic Protection Law. This allowed the national and local governments to forcibly sterilize mentally or intellectually disabled persons. The law was legislated by politicians who were pursuing the restoration of the Japanese race. In 1996, the law was amended to ban involuntary sterilization.
So as we don't have any other questions, I want to conclude here. Yeah, please, sir.
Hello. I come from Japan. I'm advisor of WASEDA CHRONICLE with Mariko. Mariko told about forced sterilization as a case of human rights violence in Japan. And I would like to ask attendees here in this room and panelists if you have ever heard about forced sterilization in your own country.
I've read about it. I guess there's even a movie about it. Yeah.
Thank you. In other country, have you ever heard about forced sterilization in the past? From which, as she told, Mariko is very interested in future collaboration in this issue, forced sterilization in other countries other than Japan.
These are my key words. Big pharma, so much to investigate, so little time, so let's get right to it. I'm Deb Nelson from the University of Maryland in the USA. Your moderator.
I'm Dr. Tetsuya Tanimoto from Tokyo, UPLAN. Today's our title is about how to successfully collaborate between doctors and journalists. And here's Mr. Rinsho Saito. He's a young journalist and collaborates with us. And my main theme is a collaboration between doctors and journalists. So first of all, why should we collaborate? Collaboration between doctors and journalists sounds fine, but in the past, such collaboration has been scarce, I think. However, we found a project that we can work together, and that is our main theme for today. It is money for doctors from the industry. As you know, such money is very prevalent all over the world, but difficulty of medical expertise and strong financial influence of the industry prevented us to investigate pharmaceutical money as a kind of sample, as these monkeys depicted. So that is, don't hear, don't look, and don't say anything. So what will damage? So you know the answer. So the answer is very evident. So patients. Doctors may prescribe too expensive drugs, prescribe useless drugs, or even harmful drugs. As a result, pharmaceutical companies can make a very lucrative market and gain extravagant amount of money.
Hi, I'm Rinsho from WASEDA CHRONICLE and talk about my database. To make the database, there are several obstacles. First, many influential doctors receive money from the industry, and it's difficult to oppose them in the authoritarian medical society. Additionally, because the traditional Japanese media depends on the advertising revenue from the industry, they cannot criticize them. This is why independent investigative journalists and doctors outside the traditional academia started the project. Second problem is that each company started to disclose their payment data in Japan, but the data was hard to access and not organized at all. Therefore, nobody could obtain overall picture. We had to solve the problem.
Catherine, I would like to know more about how you converted your skeptical source. Like, what do you think was the tipping point was for him to give you the data?
So the first question is public response to our database, right? So at least as Rinsho showed in our slide, there are many page views from the public. But I think almost viewers will be from the industry. because not at least our data.
今日で、GIJC ハンブルグ、4日目終わりました。これまでですね、WASECROからは3チームが GIJC でセッションを行いました。一つが強制不妊。これはWASECROがですね、8ヶ月かけて探査報道をして、それで今のところ犠牲者の救済法などがですね作られて、安倍首相は謝罪をしたという案件です。これを強制不妊というのはですね、実は世界中で行われていて、まさに、そのセッションのですね発表のタイトルはForced Sterilization Everywhere というタイトルでありました。辻真理子さんが行いました。かなりですね反響がありまして、終わった後も辻さんのところに、一緒に取材できないかとかそういった問い合わせがいろいろ来てました。次の強制不妊の取材にどんどん生かしていきたいと思っています。そして、今日2回、日本2つあったのはですね、1つは製薬マネーデータベース、まさにこれは我々が3000時間をかけてですねWASECROと医療ガバナンス研究所が共同制作した、汗と涙の結晶というデータベースですけども、このデータベースについて発表しました。この特徴はですね、ガバナンス研究所から内科医である谷本医師がWASECROのですね学生リサーチャーの斉藤林翔君とですね共同で発表しました。なかなかこれはクロスボーダー、つまり国境を越えた国際協力というのがあるんですけども、意外とないのが違う職業同士の協力なんですよね。これをWASECROは医療ガバナンス研究所とですね共同でやって、日本で言えば厚労省も製薬会社も誰も持っていないデータベースを作り、それをもとにいろんな研究成果であるとか取材成果を出していきました。この医師とジャーナリストの共同の成果というのを今日のセッションでは発表してですね、これもかなり反響は良かったです。やっぱり医療問題っていうのは世界共通なんですよね。でもう一つがですね、3つ目なんですけども、これはですね、ジャジット、これもまさに職業間の、違う職業同士の団体同士の協力でできた、成果のものです。100兆円を超える日本の国家財政をですねデータベースにして誰もが納税者が検索できるデータベースを作ったというものです。でこれにはですね、WASEDAのビジュアライジング .jp のですね矢崎さんと一緒に発表しました。これもかなり会場がそうですね、あそこで200人ぐらい集まる会場満杯になってですね、その中でしっかり発表してきました。このようにWASEDAチロニクルはですね、今回強制不妊、そして製薬マネーデータベース 国家財政のデータベース、この3つで発表しました。で今回の GIJC には130カ国から1500人が参加してるんですけども、ワセクロはですね13人の参加です。でこれはですねなかなかこれだけの、メンバーが参加している団体っていうのはありません。ワセクロかなり多いです。でしかも、今回セッションを3つやったということで、かなりですねワセクロの名前も世界に浸透しつつあってですね、ちょっとした、休憩時間になるとかランチタイムになるとか、ふっとワセクロのメンバー、僕を含めてですね声をかけてくる外国のジャーナリストが増えてきました。非常にいい傾向だと思います。でこれからですね、最終日の前夜祭ということで飲み会です。みんなで羽目を外してですね、進行を温めていきたいと思っております。よろしくお願いします。
The collaboration of the journalism. So, what do you think about difficult things of collaboration of journalists?
I think one of the most difficult things is the egos. So that people, of course, if you work with another medium and you think your medium is the most important in the world, then you will not be very happy to share your findings. So when you are collaborating, I think you have to do this kind of radical sharing, that whatever one partner is finding, he or she is giving to everyone else, so that you can establish the trust that you need for the collaboration.
So, do you think that collaboration is more important for journalism from now, and why?
Sorry, I didn't understand the first.
Sorry. Do you think that collaboration is more important for journalists or journalism from now? And what do you think about this, and why do you think so?
So I think collaboration is more important than ever, especially cross-border collaboration, and that is because the people who are committing crimes and theft and fraud, they are not stopping at the borders. They are crossing borders all the time. They are even doing it deliberately to not leave traces. So we have to follow them across the borders, and we need the help of our colleagues on the other side of the border, because they know way better how to do investigative journalism in their countries. So I think, if the international corruption is crossing borders, and we are trying to watch corruption and to see what's behind it, we have to cross borders too.
I see. So, what is a challenge for mass media like newspaper about collaboration?
But the first challenge is, as I said, that you can't be selfish. You have to share. And then there are many challenges. I mean, for example, in most times you need to find a common date to publish. So you need, and if you have a weekly media which is publishing always on Thursday, and you have a TV format which is running on Monday, then you already have the first conflict. So you have to speak a lot, and you have to find many compromises, and you have to always find, see if there's a middle way that you can go. And I think it's about, you have to be very understandable and clear on what you need and what you want, and you have to be fair, and you have to accept that the other side is also having their needs, their problems, and that's not always easy. And we don't. I think collaborations are really important and really good, but they are not fit for every subject, for every topic. So I think you shouldn't do a collaboration only to have a collaboration. You have to look at the thing that you're investigating, and then you have to think maybe this is a good idea to make a collaboration out of it, and maybe it's not. So for example, if the story is not a big story, if it's a small story, then you should probably not take in 50 partners, because then you blow up the importance of the story. And so you have to always look case by case if this would be a collaborative project or not.
So, was the Panama paper first time to collaborate with journalists who don't belong to your organization?
No, we have worked with the ICHA, the International Consortium.
En annan är det våldbråk Hayes. För det blåser under höjden till du kom. On short stunned up the days. That's a bit, that's it. That's a bit, living on the road. I say, yo, stars, that's the heavy getting on. It's blacks with a hand, yo, clown. Everybody down, rock to urban sound. I did, I become the stage that I was all sounds. Before he comes on stage, we say a loud moin and welcome him with the moin, okay? 1, 2, 3. Moin! Take, that's your moin! Yeah, enjoy it. I guess this was the loudest moin you're gonna hear the whole life, yeah? Come on, I just want to talk to you for a second. Is that okay? Yes. You're already very Northern German. Was this part of the show? Listen, no, not really. But come with me here to the front. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. My notes are over. No, I'm asking you, and you don't need to, because you don't know what I'm going to ask you, so. Try to be investigative.
Thanks. We've got, let me step over here. We've got a stool here for our Filipinos. And I had to step aside. Okay. Wow. How about a hand for Yara? Okay, you're in luck. I'm not going to talk much tonight. I just want to give a very, very warm welcome to GIJC and the Interlink Academy. We all worked so hard to put a program together from over 400 pitches and proposals, bring together 450 fellows from 100 countries. And can we get the staffs of the three co-host organizations to stand? And again,
where did you come? Come on, get on stage here. Sheila, come on, give her a hand. How do you do the stool? Just like this? Is that okay? I do everything on stage, please. This is your time. So you do my job, please. I messed it up. So you take this microphone, does it work?
Hello?
Hello? It works! Go ahead. Please introduce Maria.
I figured I wouldn't put the stool to waste, so I volunteered to give this introduction. First of all, I am still in awe of the panel we had this afternoon of the women, Mariko. Most of the time alone when I speak to you, but I have to ask
Give me 2 seconds. I have to ask the rap person in the audience, our managing editor, Glenn DeGloria, one of the founders, laced with anger and hate, spread faster than facts. I mean, we've always known this. Facts are kind of boring, right? We spend our careers learning how to tell great stories. This really hit me last December when Time magazine named me one of the guardians of truth. At that point in time, I realized that among the journalists who were killed in the Capital Gazette, the Reuters journalists who at that point were
Good show, huh? Yeah. We worked hard on this. Again, big thanks to everyone who helped. I want to make sure you all know that the guy who was just up on stage with us, Christophe Delavard, Secretary General, a reporter, Sun Frontier. Christophe, thanks for all your help. Okay, we're going to do the Global Shining On Awards. Gavin?
Yes. I don't have a speech, so I think we can get started with the business.
This was... Listen.
5 finalists for the 2019 Global Shining Light Awards were selected from 291 submissions by journalists. In the small outlets category, the finalists are OMP, the mask of official terror in Venezuela. The winner of the Venezuela. This joint investigation revealed how Venezuelan security forces carried out extrajudicial killings of men in poor neighborhoods.
Give them the award later. That went well.
So, we have, in fact, let me see, Lava Jato, Lava Juez. We are making sure that we have good photos because in general journalists run. So now we are making sure they stay. Do we have good photos?
figures, the reporters showed how a network of organ traders used forged documents to circumvent the law. The Azerbaijani laundromat. This cross-border investigation uncovered how ruling Illy drug Azerbaijan has claimed thousands of lives since it took office in 2016. This investigation proved that police were outsourcing extrajudicial killings to a vigilante gang.
You know, that's why at GIJC we're convinced we're getting bigger, we're getting stronger, we're getting better, despite all these attacks that are going on. So again, the judges issued a certificate of excellence, and then there were two major awards in the large category. So just before we started this, Drew Sullivan came up to me and said, listen, from OCCRP, he said, listen, if we win, you gotta make sure we thank all the international outlets that we work with. I think we got it right, Drew. A certificate of excellence goes to the Azerbaijani laundromat. Good looking group. All right, you're done. Thank you.
So we need all the winners on stage again. All the microphones back again.
All the winners, especially Gustavo Rinsho,
congratulations. Thank you. So let's form a picture with all together.
です。GIJC 今日最終日、すべてのプログラムが終わりました。非常に有意義な会議でした。特にですね、一番印象に残ったのは、昨日ですね、フィリピンのラプランですね、マリアさんというジャーナリストが演説をされたんですけども、彼女はフィリピンでドゥテルテ政権の下ですね、逮捕された経験のある女性ジャーナリストです。彼女が1300人のジャーナリストたちの前で語ったことというのはですね、コラボレーション、コラボレーション、コラボレーション、この協力という言葉でした。これが一番日本にはなくて世界のジャーナリストたちでは当然のようにみんなが持っている共通認識だと改めて痛感しました。実際ですね、この間素晴らしいセッションがいろいろ自分たちの取材技術を披露したりとかですね、そういうセッションあったんですけども、もちろんそれからも学んだんですが、一番感動したのはですね、この取材方法をどうやってやるのですね、今どんな話を追いかけてるの、それをどうやってやったのというようなこと、あと自分たちはこういう取材をしてるんだけども、あなたの国でこの、テーマに関する情報はないかというようなことをですね、ランチタイムであり、ちょっと一杯夜やってる時であり、ちょっとした休憩時間であり、話しかけるとすぐ答えてくれるんですよね。というふうに惜しげもなく、なんとかお互い協力して前に進めようと、権力と戦おうという姿勢がすごく感動しました。今回の経験はですね、特に早稲田クロニクルの若いメンバーたちにはすごくいい経験だったと思うんですね。で、早稲黒からは今回13人来ています。でその中で若者は、かなり大勢を占めてですね、5人6人、学生も4人来てました。一方で日本から他に来た、参加者というのは、朝日新聞、私の先輩ですけども、共同通信、そして毎日新聞、皆さん編集員クラスの方です。つまりもう出来上がった人たちが、来てるだけなんですね。一方で早稲黒は、若いメンバーたちがこういう世界のみんなで協力しようという新しい息吹にですね、身をさらして、必ずやこれが日本のそのジャーナリズムの中で彼らがしっかり花を咲かせてくれると思います。で最後にですね、今日は、すごくいいことがありました。それを若者たちが企画して、自分たち自身が企画して、例のパナマ文書をですね、初めて入手したドイツ新聞の、オーバーマイヤーさん、という方をですね、若手たちが自ら企画してインタビューに成功しました。かなり率直に語っていただいております。そのインタビュー内容もぜひお楽しみにしていただけたらと思います。この成果を必ず日本に帰って早稲田クロニクル、そして一緒にコラボレーションしていただいているカメラマンの皆さんはじめですね、医療ガバナンス研究所の医師たち、そしてエンジニアデザイナーの方たち、早稲田クロニクルと協力している人たちともみんなで力を合わせてこの成果を日本に帰って還元したいと思っていますので、これからもぜひ応援よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございました。